everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Melody and this is Bake a Leg and Let's Dig It, and let me tell you what's going on here. So I am trying to do convenience foods. If you saw my 2 chickens, I have the stock pot out again and the pressure canner. What am I thinking about doing? I bought big bulk ground meat and I was going to do chili. Became an argument here because the person that wants to eat chili doesn't want to go out and grab any chili, and I paid for all the ingredients. So that's how much chili there is, and it doesn't look like he's going to run out the door to go grab any. So what you're looking at is all my spices. So I figured maybe I could still do the chili, less the chili powder, by adding in this diced tomatoes with the green chilies. So that is going to be the one thing that I'm going to get out of the ground meat is big bulk chili. I'm going to shoot for that. I soaked my beans. I don't normally do that, but since I'm going to be most likely pressure canning some of the chili, I thought let me soak the beans. So what you're looking at right here, item number 1 that I'm doing is I have 6. I'll fill 2 with you. It'll be 6 or 8 little pint-sized jars. These are all mixed beans. It is, what did I do? 2 cups each, because I was going to do chili too. So I have pinto beans in there, black beans, kidney beans, and northern beans. I think that's all the beans, and I soaked them overnight. Okay. I put a half a cup of beans in here, and I'm going to add different seasonings to make some Tex-Mex style beans to put up. And then with my chicken that I canned, like the chicken meat, I can always open chicken and pop open one of these jars, and bingo bango, you have an instant meal. So I think the 1870s Homestead, Rachel did a version of Tex-Mex. I might not have all her ingredients, especially the chili powder, but we're going to do some Tex-Mex beans to start off with, and then I'll bring you along when I go to start making the chili, and then when I go to can it. So let's work on number 1, Tex-Mex beans. That will be this video. So I don't have you on my tripod currently at the moment, so let me see here. Okay, my jars are clean. I'm just going to go in a little bit heavy. This is what I do, and then I just go like that. Because my cup isn't full because I'm doing this one-handed. So this will be good because it'll be a bunch of different mixed beans. Okay, there we go. That's half a cup of beans in each of these jars. And then I'm going to season them. Now here's where it's a little bit different. The Rachel's version she did with dried beans. These are soaked. She also put tomato juice over hers. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I may just do the hot water, pour over it, and then I'll pressure can them. So let me get my tripod, and then we'll start seasoning up these beans, which leaves plenty of beans left over for big bulk chili. But this video is going to be making some Tex-Mex flavored mixed beans. Okay, so I just organized everything so you can hopefully see all the Tex-Mex beans. I also turned on my electric tea kettle that is in my room, and here is all the seasonings that I'm going to end up putting in here, and I'm probably going to do a teaspoon of most of the ingredients. Not sure if I'm going to use a half a teaspoon on anything. So that's what the beans look like. Fantastic. And now I roll up my sleeves, and let's go in with granulated garlic for starters. Wait, I might have to give this a shake real quickly. Only because I saw like one lump in there. So these are my herbs from out of one of my boxes downstairs. And I am just gonna do like a level teaspoon of garlic in each jar. For starters. I know her beans were dry, and she used the tomato juice that I just told you about. But normally when I do dry beans, I don't soak them. Normally with dry beans, they're just dry, and I go over it with hot water. So hopefully the hot water part will be fine. All right, all the jars have 1 teaspoon of granulated garlic. That's his doggy here in the background, lapping some water. And now I'm going to go in with some minced onion to each of the jars. I figured since I did that chicken, this would be pretty good to have on hand. I realized I soaked a lot of beans, and I thought I could mix chicken and beans together if I need a quick meal. It's all about convenience for me and getting things out of the freezer here. So let's see. All the jars have 1 teaspoon minced onion. I'm going to put the spices back there as I use them. Let's go in with some ground cumin. I love cumin. A little scant. Like, not a full teaspoon, a little scant. Like that kind of scant. Because, you know, cumin can be kind of strong. Okay, cumin, done. And let's see, what else do I want to go in with? Let's go in with a teeny tiny bit of the chili powder. That started the whole discrepancy here today because he doesn't want to go out to get any. And I'm just going to do literally a little pinch, dash, in each of the jars. Just to stretch it. So that's probably 1/4 teaspoon. And what else do I want to put in here? I do have onion powder out, but I just did the minced onion. So let's go in with a little bit of cilantro. Just a little bit. Like 1/4 per jar. I don't want too much. I'm just trying to think of flavorings that I would like to have on my beans. So just a little dab will do you. I did that one, yep. That one was a little shy. So just a pinch of this dried cilantro. And then I think I'm just going to go in with a little bit of ground paprika, 1/4. I'm not going to do a full teaspoon. I'm going to fill it up full, but I'm just going to do a dash in all my jars, which I would say would equal out to about 1/4. Spreading it equally amongst the jars. All done. And then I'm going to go in with some Himalayan salt. teaspoon, no, it's a half a teaspoon of salt. So let me grab the salt. Okay, I can't seem to find her half a teaspoon one, so I'm just gonna eyeball it best I can for the salt to being a half a teaspoon in each of the jars. And I think it smells delish for sure. Okay, we're all done. Now what I need to do is get the canner set up. My electric tea kettle is boiling back there, hopefully. And we are going to look at these. They look so good. I am just gonna stick probably with what I know. I don't know how I feel about it in tomato juice. I'm just gonna do hot water, and I'm gonna pressure can these beans the way that I would pressure can my other beans. I do have to check the time though on these beans. So let me look up the time for soaked beans, and which might be about the same. I'll let you know. And then we're gonna wipe off all the rims. I wanna find the lids and set the canner up, and then we'll get ready to process some Tex-Mex beans. Okay, so I just had to clean out my canner because I forgot that I dumped the water out of it when I did the chicken, but I gave it a good scrubbing. And so I had to do that because I didn't do it that night. It was getting kind of late. Pints are going to be 75 minutes. I'm going to put 3 quarts of water in there. I'm going to start filling it up, and let me say 3 quarts of water. How many did I get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I got 8 pints of the Tex-Mex. I have to go check my tea kettle water. And we are going to cover them with hot water. So we want to get this almost the same temperature. So that's what you hear in the background. And that is the water to fill up the quart-sized jar. This is the Presto 24 quart, and it takes 3 quarts of water. So 1 more quart, and then we will, well, I will go in the back and get the tea kettle, and then we'll do the jars and fill it up. With the hot water, obviously you're going to debubble. You're going to debubble, and you're going to use the vinegar to wipe off the top. So I looked it up. I double checked it. It's 75 minutes for pints. Okay, so let me go get the tea kettle. Okay, it took me a hot minute. Dog's barking. And it's starting to snow here, and I went to go collect my eggs because it's kind of cold here today. So let's get started with filling this up with hot water. 1 inch headspace. If you've been here a while, or maybe you have not been, I learned how to do beans. And I realized when I was stirring my beans, I was stirring them with a butter knife. And that's because I was new learning. Don't stir your food with anything metal. Use your debubbler or a chopstick. I'm going to see if I'm going to need more tea kettle water boiled. Check my headspace lightly off on this one. So yeah, it's starting to flurry out there. And I think I'm going to need another tea kettle of boiled water. Let's see. That headspace is a little high there. Yep, I'm going to be short for 2 jars, and that one's a little high. So let me put some more water on. Okay, so in the meantime, while the tea kettle is back on, I'm going to start just stirring up my beans, mixing up all the spices in there, plus it'll debubble it. Oh, yeah, you have to not mind the dogs. This is definitely a dog house. Okay. I'm going to stir this one up. Make sure there's no air bubbles. Okay. So I have 2. That one needs more liquid. These other ones, let me check my headspace. Just this one is a tiny bit high, but I'm not going to bother to spill it out because then I'll spill it all over the place. I'm going to get vinegar, paper towel, and I'm going to start cleaning the ones where the headspace is good. Okay, I just started wiping some, and this is why you use vinegar, because you don't want anything to interfere with your seal, even though I'll probably be putting a little bit more liquid and a few of these to top them off. I am wiping off the tops very well. Make sure there's no seasoning or anything that went on the jar, because you will not get a good seal. And then, yeah, I have to wait for more tea kettle water. In the meantime, I washed some rings. I have lids over here. I think it's about the last of my lids that I have. I've been having a problem with ball in the cases. I don't know if they're just rushing or what they're doing, but I've been getting some defective lids that affects a couple of my seals. So I did look these over. These look pretty good. They're washed, done. And now let's just wait on that tea kettle. Oh yeah, and an update on the, I just turned it down because that's coming up to temperature. So we'll have hot jars, hot water, 75-minute for pints, and I think it's 95 for, so let's top the rest of these off with the hot tea kettle water. And anything that I thought was a little shy on the headspace, I am just correcting now and trying not to get burned. Okay, looks good. Let me check this back one. And of course, I'll have to re-wipe it all off. So these 2 in the back, debubble. Might as well just debubble them all again. And I'll re-wipe them all. Okay. Vinegar. Whoops, I just stuck my towel, the tip in there, and that's all clean. Now we're going to put the lid and rings on, fingertip tight. Like so. And then make sure you stay tuned because I'm doing that big bulk chili, convenience food. That will probably come out next after this video. Like I said, don't put your rings on too tight, but this will be good to have. Tex-Mex beans. Woo, that jar is hot. Be careful. Don't get burned. Last jar. And there we go. I just like to always check to make sure I don't have them on too tight. Okay, so we have 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 pint-sized jars, and now we're going to put them in the canner. So let me turn you around. And we're going to get ready to put them in. I'll show you what that looks like in 1 second. One more to get in here. There we go. There's all the jars in. Now I'm going to put the lid on. And then I'm going to wait for it to vent for 10 minutes. Remember to turn your pot around to the arrow. Push down, turn, good to go. We'll let that come up to heat together. I'm going to let it vent for 10 minutes. And then I'll put my Jiggly Wiggly on there and set a timer for 75 minutes. So I'll bring you back when I go to take it out of the canner. Hey everyone, you could see it bubbling. There is the Tex-Mex beans. They're all out. They look pretty good. Let's see if I can get you a side shot. I just literally took them out of the canner, and that will be great to have on the shelf. I can even mix that with the chicken that I did, and it is bubbling away. So that is what it looks like. Hopefully it looks good to everyone else with all the beans and the seasoning that I put in there. And now I'm just going to let them sit here, do their thing. And yeah, so that is my video today on the Tex-Mex beans. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe. If you're new here, maybe think about subscribing. And I will catch y'all on the next video. Bye, everyone.